Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Career Happy Hour. We are so excited to have you join us for another episode. We are going to give folks a little bit of time to go ahead and get that alert and jump on in here in the live, and so that they can join us. As you come on in, please make sure to comment with your name, where are you tuning in from, and then what are you sipping on? So please go ahead and drop that in the chat, as we will go ahead and give folks a little bit of time to get to come on in, have a little bit of background music playing while we wait for folks to come on in. Hey there, Emma. Good afternoon, good evening, girlfriend. How are you? Hey there, Kimiko from Montgomery. Thank you for joining us, Cuzzy Cuz. Hey there, Nigeria. Joining from Pensacola, woohoo, and sipping on sweet rose wine. I love it, girl. As you drop in your comments, please make sure to put in your name so that we can see that on this platform. Make sure that we shout out all of our audience members who are tuning in and putting in some comments. You know the routine by now. When you come on in, drop in your name, where are you tuning in from, and what are you sipping on. We are also live on Clubhouse for the first time ever tonight. So if you're on Clubhouse, then please make sure that you jump on over there and catch us on Career Happy Hour as well. We have LaShawn tuning in from Kansas City, and she's not sipping tonight. What's going on? You got to at least sip on some H2O like Emma. Come on, get you a glass, girl. This is a whole experience around here. All right. We are about to get started. Great. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for your patience this evening. We have had a little bit of technical difficulty, so we really appreciate your patience, because when you're dealing with technology, you will have technical difficulties from time to time. But we are so grateful for you tuning in and being here for another episode of Career Happy Hour. We have a major treat for you with our guest co-host tonight. But before I get started, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you don't know me by now, I am Lashina Recruitalina, your six-figure career brand coach. I am absolutely obsessed with your success. That's what Career Happy Hour is about. It's here to to inspire, to motivate. We're here to normalize earning six figures because we want to make sure that we're building generational wealth for our families, for our friends. And part of that is making sure that we have information, that we have tips, that we have nuggets to really pour into our careers. And I call myself the career mixologist because a lot of us think of our careers as just our 9 to 5, but it's not. Our career is anything and everything that brings you income. Anything that is how you earn a living. That's what your career is really about. So we are really excited to be able to bring on guest co-hosts who come and share their career story with you, how they've gone through their journey in their career, and how many times it's not A to B or a straight line. There's a lot of zigzags along the way. And that's okay because that's who makes us who we are. That's all of the things that go together to make us who we are. So we are so excited to be able to have all of our audience members tonight. We have Eddie who is joining us. Hey there, Eddie from Virginia Beach. You have some cran grape, maybe mixed with something. I like how you say that. All right, guys, we are, as I mentioned, we are also testing out a new platform on Clubhouse. So I am trying to see if I can have that up and going. We're doing all kinds of experimenting around here. So our guest co-host, I told you guys, you are in for a treat. If you've seen the promos about our guest co-host tonight, you will know it is the one, the only Reggie Barlow. And I want to be able to share with you a little bit of his bio before I bring him to the stage. So please bear with me as I give you all of the goods behind his biography and his career. And I'm excited about him talking about that a little bit more. So currently, Reggie is the football head coach at Virginia State University. Prior to this role, Reggie served as NCAA Division I college football head coach at his alma mater, Alabama State University. He is also a former professional football player in the National Football League. As a head coach at Alabama State University, Reggie coached his team to 5 consecutive winning seasons and was the second all-time winningest coach in the school's history. Woohoo! That's right, Nigeria. LaShawn, you giving all those woot woots around there. Oh my goodness. And then as a player in the NFL, Reggie played primarily as a punt returner and kick returner, but also played as a secondary wide receiver. He played 8 years in the league, 5 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and 1 offseason on the Oakland Raiders roster. And Reggie won a world championship in Super Bowl 37. He has had the very successful career, but what I really appreciate also about Reggie is his give back, also to giving back to the community. And part of that is with what I mentioned in some of the promos about what he refers to as the dash. So he talks about you can control when you're born or when you pass on. We cannot control when we're born and when we pass on. But what we can control is the time in between, which he refers to as the dash. Can you please put together your virtual hands and welcome to the virtual stage, the one, the only, Reggie Barlow!
Hey.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How about that introduction right there? That was pretty good. I might have to carry you on the road with me and have you introduce me all the time.
Hey, I can do a little something. I try, but I want to make sure that people really get the essence of just how much you've done in I would say your short time on this earth, because we're about the same age as most people. If they don't know, we grew up together. We went to school together in Montgomery, Alabama. And so Yes, we still young around here. We
That's right.
we
That's
still
right.
got plenty of life to live ahead.
That's,
But
that's
it's
right.
just amazing to be able to talk about your credentials and about your
Sheena, you
career.
on mute. We can't hear nothing.
Uh-oh. Okay. See, my clubhouse part is coming in. Let me see. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to. Nope, I'm not on mute. Huh. Okay, so open room. So I told you guys, we are testing out Clubhouse. So if you're on mute, we can't hear you. Okay. All right, we're gonna test that out a little bit later because my audio is not working on Clubhouse. But really appreciate just the career journey, the career story that I was able to share with the audience there. But in your own words, can you please tell us? I read all of that about what you've done with your football career and now turning that to coaching. Is that something is that what you dreamed to be when you were a little boy?
Well, I actually grew up loving baseball, and if I had to do or play anything, it would have been baseball. Our family, my brothers and I, my dad, we all grew up loving baseball. So that was kind of like a dream of mine. And then, of course, getting the Bellingraph, which was really my real true opportunity to play football. We became pretty decent at it, and we stuck with it and allowed it to lead our path. And obviously, it
Mm,
took us to ASU and then the NFL and now coaching. But I absolutely love coaching. I think it's a wonderful profession. Gives us an opportunity to give back and to really be a mentor for a lot of these student athletes that we come in contact with.
wow. That is amazing to hear you say that because I think that's what happens many times is that we start on a path in one direction and then we end up pivoting into something else. So
Right.
who would have thought that baseball was your first love and then with everything that you've done from football, but what was that differentiating moment in time that made you switch? Do you know?
Yeah, so I ended up getting it's weird. I mean, my coach Markham, who was the head football coach at Alabama State at the time, he actually didn't recognize me on the football field. He recognized me playing baseball because Lamont Markham, his son, and I played baseball together. And he was at a game. He saw me running around, um, and liked my speed. He had heard about, excuse me, he had heard about me being a football player. And I mean, they offered me a scholarship, the only scholarship that I was offered. I didn't get baseball or track or anything like that. And Alabama State was the only school that offered me a football scholarship. So we took it and ran with it. We thought about playing baseball over at ASU, but we decided to just focus on football, and it worked out for us.
Yeah, it has definitely worked out in your favor. So it something was there that really caught the coach's eye to say, I see something in you. And I say that intentionally for all of our viewers. Please, please pay attention to that. When someone mentions that they see something in you, please pay attention to it. And then when you see something in other people, please tell them. Because you think sometimes that, oh, they should know that. No, we do. We need people to pour into us and to speak that into us because it triggers something in our heads that we didn't even think about before. And it
Yeah.
sounds like that's what football was for you.
Yeah, I mean, football has, I mean, it has taken me on a wonderful journey. I'm so grateful for all the coaches that gave me an opportunity early on, as I mentioned, Coach Markham. But it's been a blessing for me, and now I feel like it's my job to um, be a blessing to others through football, whether it's coaching them up, whether it's talking about academics, whether it's talking about giving back to the community, just a combination of all that stuff. We try to do it, and we try to do it as often as possible.
That is so, so important, especially for our young men, because I think a lot of times they don't get that as often. I think, it's just that they just go along and they think, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But to have someone to really focus and give them that attention and to coach them and mentor them, even when it's outside of football, that's what you're doing, right? To the community in so many different ways. Can you tell us about some of the many ways that you've mentored and given back to the community? Because I think it's just so amazing.
Yeah, so we've done a lot, depending on where we were. Obviously, when I was playing in the NFL, we had Barlow buddies. Basically, we took a group of students, young kids that was in elementary school, and it was basically the kids that did well in the second 6 weeks of school that made improvement. We would get them, bring them to the football game, let them enjoy that experience because typically they probably wouldn't have an opportunity to experience that. So that was one thing that we did, Barlow Buddies. We've always gone and taken our team, since I've been a head coach, taken our team to read and to volunteer, be greeters at the elementary schools, just to encourage the kids to have a positive day. So we're always doing something. And being from Montgomery, whenever I'm back home, our local community there, Ridgecrest, I'm always over there, whether it's donating something, giving away clothes, or just having those conversations with those people that live over there that, your dreams can come true if you continue to work on them.
That is awesome. That is so, so powerful, I think, to all for all of us to hear, because you've heard of people who've left their hood and gone on and done
Mm,
big things, and they just keep on going. They never
right.
reach back and pull others up, and especially from the same community. And that's just really powerful. We need more of that. And I think sometimes there's people who want to do it, but they don't know how to do it. I really do believe
Right.
that. That's what I'm going to say in my heart of hearts, that there are people who want to give back, but they don't know how. And if they don't
Mm,
know how, first of all, just keep tuning in to this show, because we're going to keep giving you ways that you can give back to your community, because we believe in that wholeheartedly. But is there anything that you could tell or give, a suggestion to someone who they don't know even where to start? They want to help their community or give back, but they just don't know.
Yeah, I think obviously you have so many type of ways to give back. One of the uh, positive effects of giving back is it really could be just a compliment. It doesn't always have to be a dollar, or it doesn't have to be clothes. It could be, um, hey, young man, keep your eye on the prize, stay motivated, stay encouraged. I know you may be dealing with something right now, but you will be able to come over it. But for people who want to give back, there's the food banks. You can go there. You can reach out to community leaders and find out what area or what community could use some help, and you can volunteer at some of these local boys and girl clubs. So there's a lot of things that you can do. I just think it starts with the head and the mind and the heart of waking up saying, how can I be a blessing today? That's kind of like how I live my life. How can I be a blessing today? How can I encourage somebody throughout their day, to help them through it?
Wow, that is wonderful. We have a comment from Chemical. She says sometimes people are lost. Thanks, Reggie, for all you do. So we really
Thanks.
do appreciate the example that you're setting for so many. And I want to start talking about Dash, because I think a lot of what you're talking about fits into Dash and the philosophy behind that. But right before we do that, we have a question from the audience. So Chiffon says, welcome. What are your thoughts on having tunnel vision or laser focus when it comes to going after your dreams? That's a really great question. You
Yeah.
want to take a
I mean,
stab at it?
she said a wonderful word, tunnel vision. And if you think about a tunnel and how you only could see straight in front of you, but it's having tunnel vision. It's getting a vision first. All right, figuring out what it is that I want to do. Then it's about remove the mental clutter, because there will be clutter. There will be someone that'll tell you you can't do it. And then you just have to stay on your process and just do the work. And just know throughout the process, you will face some adversity, but you will find a way to get through it. So getting a vision, removing the mental clutter of things not happen, and then just go to do the work and stay on your process and knowing that there may be a hiccup or something. I mean, this thing COVID has come along and caused a hiccup, but we're finding a way to get around it, find a way to get past it, and that's just what we have to do.
That's a great way of describing that because that's exactly what tunnel vision is. It's if you really think of a literal tunnel, then
Right.
those there you don't see anything outside of just what's in that tunnel. But if you have that
Right.
vision to what's at the end of that tunnel, then that's what you're continuing to move forward to. So
Right.
that's really
Yeah.
great. And then we have another comment. LaShawn says, Reggie is my brother from another mother. I wake up daily asking God to use me in blessing someone else. That's wonderful,
Yeah.
LaShawn. That's
Yeah,
really
that's
great.
outstanding. That's really a good way to live. Like I said, we always look for these um, big ways to give back, but giving back could be as easy as opening a door for someone, telling somebody the hair look nice, or that's a nice pair of shoes you have on, my man, or So whatever. It's you never know. We always think about when we talk about side effects, we always think negative, but there are positive side effects of saying positive things to people. Just imagine, what are the side effects of you telling somebody, "Oh, you look gorgeous today," or "You look beautiful," or "Hey, you well groomed. I like your suit." That goes a long way. People like to hear those things like that.
That is a really great point because sometimes we think people know that already, or we don't want to give them the big head. But whenever I've complimented people, it's surprising to hear how surprised they are at receiving that compliment. Sometimes people don't even know how to accept a compliment because
Right,
they're not used to it. And I'll tell someone
right,
all the time, it's nothing for me to say, hey, you rocking that. That's a great, whatever they're wearing or whatever they're doing. And we need to be able to receive those compliments because it's helping to pour into ourselves and
right,
to others as that give back, as you mentioned. And one thing
right,
that I'll also mention that is, I love what you said about sometimes it's about giving back in small ways and not necessarily these big grandiose ways. And one of the ways that I think people sometimes miss giving back is by taking on a mentee. A lot of
right.
us want to be mentored, and we don't feel as if we're worthy to mentor someone else. But there's not enough mentors in the world. So if we just take on a mentee, just
Right.
one, maybe it's 3 months, a quarter. There's enough that will give, that is a giving back, but it also helps you because we all need mentors
Yeah.
in our life.
Yeah, each of us need all of us. That's what I use. Each of us need all of us, and you want to live your life being able to help somebody. I know I do a bunch of it with our student athletes and other people I come in contact with. So hopefully we're being able to help people.
That is great. Well, Reggie, I know we didn't mention anything about what you were sipping on, but do you have your sip because I know
Uh,
you're trying to get some technical stuff together. So, oh, look at
yeah,
you.
I just got it sitting right there. Though it's just a little red wine. So yeah,
Ah, nice. I'm drinking on some red wine myself. Well,
nice.
let's get into Dash because I love the concept of Dash because when I was reading it and preparing for the show tonight and getting everything prepared, I've seen your promos before, right? I have. I've
Mm,
seen Dash and I'm like, okay, I see the words that they stand for. But when it really hit me about that dash between the date that we're born and the
mm,
date that we die, that's usually put on anything that, on our obituary or anything, that little bitty dash in the middle is what makes up who we are and the legacy that we're leaving. So please unpack that a little bit. Where did that come from? What is it about? What's your vision with it?
Yeah. So you've done a really good job of referencing it. When we can't control when we're born. Higher power has control over that, nor can we control when we leave Earth. That's controlled by higher power as well. I just believe just throughout my life, being around successful people, being around successful companies, being around successful football teams, I think there are 5 core characteristics that really dictate how you live your life in between being born and when you leave. And whether you live for 80 years or whether you live for 30 years, it's still here. And it's like the dash. So it doesn't seem like a long time. So the 5 core characteristics, obviously, it's an acronym. The keys are discipline, and that's true discipline, doing what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, when it's supposed to be done. Ultimately, when no one's watching, I always ask my players, what are you doing when no one's watching? Because it will show. It will show in public if you're saying you're disciplined, but you're not actually doing that. So we have to be disciplined in our diet. We have to be disciplined in our savings and how we manage our money. We have to be disciplined in our training, working out, and all that stuff. So it's important. I think that's the foundation of anything when you're trying to achieve something. The A and the dash is for attitude, and we're talking positive and conquering attitude. And we say there will be some adversity, so you got to be ready to be able to overcome that. So having a positive outlook, being positive with yourself, having a positive conversation with yourself. How do you talk to you? So the A is for attitude, having a positive and conquering attitude. The S is for sacrifice. Each of us need all of us, and it ain't and it's not just about you. So we all have to be willing to sacrifice something for the good of the team, for the good of the family, for the good of the friendship. We got to be willing to make a sacrifice. And I tell you, I've made some sacrifices in my life, and I've been, extremely blessed from just making a few sacrifices. The first H in the dash is for habits. If you talk to your friend or your cousin or anybody like that and you ask them what they want to be or what they want to do, some might say, oh, I want to get this body in shape or I want to make this type of money. But what does your habit say? Your habits must be aligned with your expectations. You can't say you want to get your body in shape, but you're eating little Debbie's and not training and all that stuff. So you have to have your habits aligned with your expectations. And then the last H, all right, you can be disciplined. You can have a positive attitude. You may be willing to sacrifice for your team. And your habits just may be aligned with your expectations. But if your heart is not in the right place, there ain't really nothing anybody can do for you if your heart's not in the right place. So having a good heart, caring about your family, caring about your community, caring about your team, caring about your family, caring about yourself. So that's the dash. I believe I was blessed to play on a Super Bowl team. I think our team had those 5 characteristics. We're disciplined. We sacrifice for each other. I've been on a championship team at Alabama State. I feel like it was the same way. We were blessed to win the championship here, and we were just we're living the dash. That's what it stands for. And uh, some days it can be challenging than others, but that's when you got to pick up and have a positive attitude. So we live the dash.
That is that it is so powerful when you break it down that way, and that you've made an acronym out of it. And LaShawn will tell you, I love me some acronyms. I've been
Oh yeah,
I've been
I do
working on
too.
some acronyms myself. And so LaShawn has commented about what that acronym stands for, so that everyone can capture that. She says, love this. She said, you're all on her toes. You speaking to her tonight.
Right.
That's
That's
great,
good.
LaShawn.
Yeah, that's good.
We need those reminders though. We do, because
Oh,
we get busy in life, right? And if we are not careful, life will be leading us instead of us leading our life.
right. Yeah, I
And let's
totally
see.
agree.
I totally agree. And, the discipline and sacrificing, those are two of the biggest things that can help you get back on the path if you're willing to sacrifice. I think about, I started having a date with God. At one point, I was going through something, and the date was you have to sacrifice time. So I would get up at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. every morning, and it was just for me and God. And at the time, I just got let go at Alabama State. I was crushed, all depressed and down on myself. And I said, well, I need to sacrifice something. And we called this date with God. And I started doing that for a while. And then I got one job called me over in Georgia. They wanted me to be their football coach. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then like maybe a month later, Lanier called and said, hey, no, we want you to be our football coach. And then not even 2 months after that, Virginia State called and said, no, we want you to be our football coach. Just from the sacrifice of, waking up early, sacrificing a little sleep. So that's one of the times I like to speak on where we made a huge sacrifice and a multitude of blessings came behind it.
Wow, that is great. And Reggie, I'm hearing a little bit of, do you have on the audio? Oh yeah, I think it's giving it a little bit of feedback.
What's nice? I have to rotate these things out.
Yes, that's perfect because I need everybody to get, yes, we need to make sure that we can hear you and all of these nuggets that you dropping around here, because this is some really great stuff. So for those that, might have heard that going in and out, Reggie just talked about being let go from one career opportunity and how that affected him and how it completely crushed him. And that sometimes when things happen in life that don't go how we expect it to go, it does. It really kicks us off of our game, that we have to almost do a mental reset. And when we do, and that date with God, now I loved how you said that. I like the sounds of that. I need to have me some dates with God and make sure that I'm really intentional about that. And then that's when the floodgates just open for you, and you have opportunities just coming left and right. And I'm sure that just made you feel just so, wanted and needed. And it gave you that boost of confidence back again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's, like I said, it was a hurtful time in my life, and the sacrifice, and then of course being able to get the blessings that came behind it. And I just started thinking, like, when we fall, who we become will catch us. And I needed to be let go, I guess. And I became a better coach because I became better mentally, physically, more strong in my faith and all that stuff. So it was a really cool time, knowing that I could get so many blessings to come all at one time. And obviously we were grateful for that.
Wow. Yeah, sometimes we do need that kick, that swift kick in the butt to really make us kind of level up, if you will. Because sometimes we can get so comfortable that things are going so good that we're not living at our full potential that God has in store for us. So he has to give us that swift kick in the butt to say, no, I need you to be doing this. You're getting too comfortable.
Right.
You need to get it going.
Yeah.
And that's probably what that date with God, he told you. He probably talked to you about that.
Yeah. We had to change some things. We got better and not bitter. We use that term a lot. Hey, let's get better and not bitter. So we became a better coach, better person, all that stuff. So it was good.
Oh, wow. I'm going to use that with some of my coaching clients because I coach career professionals who've been laid off from their corporate job, and they go through that same mental struggle because they feel that they've been betrayed almost. They've worked for this company and given their heart and their time and everything, and now they're being laid off for no reason of their own. And so I like that. So get better, not bitter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use that one. Now I know with Dash, it's something that not only are you living, that you're coaching, but you also have a merch line with it, right? Am I saying that?
Yeah.
Saying that right?
Yeah. Yeah. You said it right. I mean, initially it started with these little armbands or whatever. Everybody wanted those armbands just as a reminder that I'm gonna live the dash. I'm gonna be disciplined and have a positive attitude. And then we just started getting T-shirts, and so many people have reached out for the shirts. And so yeah, we do have shirts. I mean, we ain't trying to make money off of it. We just want to sell the message more than anything. So really, all of the shirts I've really been giving them away because people say they want them, they want to live the dash. So we take order them, and that's kind of another way that we give back. So yeah. So if you want a shirt, let me know. We'll get you hooked up.
Okay, we will definitely. So all in the audience, if you want a shirt, then make sure that you drop in the comments dash. We'll just say hashtag dash DASHH. So, and then for those, then we'll get
They
that
have to
information.
say what the dash stand for, though.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so the acronym and what it stands for in your comments if you want some Dash merch. That would be amazing. So make sure you put that in there. So the acronym and then also what it stands for, because that's the important part, is living the dash to your fullest. Oh man, I'm loving that. Okay. So anything else about Dash that that you want to unpack? Because I really want to talk a little bit more about your career story and the impact that you've been able to make in so many. Now you talk about coaching and how that's really just, it sounds like it's really fulfilling you to be able to coach. And not everyone is meant to coach in this world. It takes special people to be able to coach. So let us know if there's anything else about Dash, that you want to intertwine with that. But what is it about coaching that you think has that has made you so successful in it and to have winning seasons?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's kind of like what we mentioned earlier about tunnel vision. You have to have a vision for what you want your team to look like and be like. And we've developed our own language that we communicate. Obviously, it's the English language, but it's words that we use to speak to ourselves, like living the dash. Let's be better and not bitter. See a little, see a lot, see nothing. That's basically saying focus on the task at hand. Remove mental clutter. So we've just developed this line of communication that we coach mindset first, and then we coach scheme, plays, and all that stuff. And it's worked. We've been blessed to have some really good football players. We've been blessed to have some really good coaches. We motivate them, we encourage them, and I just think those 5 core characteristics. I wish I could tell people something different, but those 5 core characteristics is what it comes down to. And then another acronym for you, as a coach, COACH, and that's what I am, and that's called on as Christ helpers. So the amount of people that we get to come in contact with, we're there to be helpers for Christ, to encourage them, to motivate them, to keep them on track, to let them know that their dreams and goals are right there, but they have to do the work. They have to get a vision for what they want, and then of course they have to go and do the work. And we just, between using our language that we use and encouraging them to stay on task, has allowed us to be successful and win games.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm trying to put this in the comments for you because I need because I know a lot of coaches are on that tune into this show. called on as Christ's helpers, right?
Yep.
Coach? Yes. Okay. Awesome. So I'm gonna put that on there. And so I know you talk a lot about working with really great coaches that have done
Mm-hmm.
really great things and pouring back on in the team. Have you worked with or been around a coach that isn't great? That, I mean, not by name, but just have you experienced a coach that is just not living the same dash philosophy?
Yeah, I think
The difference.
well, I think more or less as a head coach, and as we hire coaches, I mean, you have to put people in the place where their strengths are, and don't put them in a spot where you know they're weak in. So each one of our coaches have each one of our coaches is a liaison to whether it's academics, whether it's to our medical staff, whether it's to our dorms, our housing on campus. So I'm not going to put a guy over academics or a liaison to academics if just from being around them and having conversations with them, you know, that's not something that they particularly care about. So it's all about understanding what guys do well. Same way with your players. I mean, all of them not going to run the same. They all not going to have the same strength, but it's about finding the right role for them and then putting them in that role so they can be successful. So, of course, throughout my coaching career, I've been a head coach now for, I think, 13, 14 years or something like that. Obviously, you have every once in a while someone that may be, hearing the fence or may not be on the same page, and then that's when you have to have those adult conversations and be real direct and say what you mean what you say, and then stand behind it. And then if it still doesn't get better, then you just have to help them direct their professional career, and they may have to go and do something else. But the goal is always to find out what can they do, how can what's their strong suit, and then of course we want to put those people in those type of situations so they can be successful.
I want everyone to make sure that they paid attention to how you answered that question, because that was brilliant. You answered that question the way that a leader answers a question like that, because a leader sees what someone is strong in, and they work to cultivate that. They put them in places to do that. And that's what I talk about when I say I'm absolutely obsessed with your success. You're setting people up to be successful by doing what they love and what they're strong at. Because you'll find that when people are strong at
Right.
something, they're passionate about it. And when people are passionate about something, they work harder, they do the best that they can do, the best that they can be, and they'll continue to grow themselves. And it reminded me of this meme that I've seen before, where it has like the fish in the bowl. I'm gonna mess this up, but I'm gonna get the gist of it. It's like it has the fish in the bowl, and then it has, I don't know, another animal outside of the bowl. And it talks about, if you expect that fish to run, you're setting it up to fail. In the same way with whatever animal this is, or in the fish, if you put people in
Right.
situations where they can thrive, they will rise to the challenge. So I just want to make sure everybody
Right.
just heard that. You first see if you can set them up for success. And then if they're not
Right.
performing to the best, then that's when you have those adult conversations. That's beautiful. I want
Right.
everybody to make sure that
That's right.
sinks
Yeah.
in. Because what I find, because my son plays baseball, and what I find is that those 11-year-olds will play to the ability of what they are entrusted with. So if their coach is not, really, usually they won't, or they won't grow past that. Have you found that
Right.
with players that if you, if you don't, if you're not really, driving them or giving them the tools to be successful, or they're playing a mediocre team, maybe sometimes they don't play to the same level as that
Right.
they're able to.
Yeah. Well, we talk all the time to our team about, well, we want to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. We want to set the tone. We want to set the temperature, and we're not going to let other people dictate that. For us, obviously in coaching, there are days that you got to get on kids. You got to get on 'em hard for a mistake they've made or something that you've been coaching that they have not picked up. You better not let that kid leave the field without you saying at the end of practice, I'm on you because I know you can do it and
Yeah.
because I care about you and I want to see you do it. So for every hard sell reinforcement on a kid before practice in, our coaches know this, you got to find that kid and make sure you put your arm around him and tell them, say, hey, you had a tough day, but you'll get it. I believe in you, care about you and all that stuff. And that's what makes the opportunity to play football, baseball, whatever. That's when you make it fun. Yeah, you can ride these kids. You can really work them, but they don't care how much you know until they know that you care. So you have to
Yes.
care about and put your arm around them, and those are the standards that we try to set here at Virginia State and wherever else we've been.
Yeah, it has to be that balance. And that's the same way with adult relationships too. You can't just ride someone, or in a coworker or boss situation. You can't ride people all the time without balancing that with, hey, I'm doing this because I want the best for you. I want you to really to thrive. And sometimes it takes some of that hard coaching, that heart to heart coaching, to be able to do that. I know I just messed up that illustration about the fish, but it reminded me about something that is very near and dear to your heart beyond football and coaching and giving back, is your fishing, because you're always catching these
Yeah,
amazing fish. So because it just makes me think that
yeah,
you're a busy man, you have a lot to do, but you make time for yourself, that self-care with your fishing. Is that how you
yeah.
look at
So
it?
I mean, that's just an amazing passion for mine. I really didn't start fishing until later on, like my adult life. We bought a house or two that happened to have water on it, so I started fishing. Coach Davis, the guy that coached me in college, actually took me on my first fishing gig, and I had the best time. And so now for me, my relaxation is sitting by the pond, obviously. And if I catch something great, most of the time I throw it back. But if I don't catch anything, it gives me an opportunity still to sit and really have some time myself, to remove the mental clutter of whatever has been going on with me for that day or for that week. So we certainly enjoy fishing. Can't get enough of
Wow.
it.
That's awesome, because sometimes we're going. And I know people see me and they're like, oh, Lashina, you're just always on the go. But best believe that part of that is also self-care and making sure that you take that mental break, like you said, and whatever you enjoy doing. And you need that break away, because it revives
Yeah,
you and refreshes you, and it makes you a better
right.
person when you show back up. I mean, right? Like that's what that getting that
Yeah,
mental clutter is about. You say?
yeah. I'm big on that. Yeah, I agree. I'm actually big on that. Like even at work, most days around lunchtime, I'll go out and just take a walk around the track just to remove the mental clutter of what happened from that morning I got there up until lunchtime. So, I mean, there's a lot that we have to deal with. We're responsible for
Yeah.
120 some football players. We're responsible for our coach and support staff, and then of course my own kids, our own kids that we have. So making sure that they're good and mentally fresh themselves. So those type of breaks are often needed, and I know I try to take advantage of the times that I get to do it.
I love that you talk about your kids as your oxygen. That is just, I know, when I hear it, it's just like, oh my gosh, I can really relate to that saying. But how did you even come up with they're your oxygen?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's when I look at them, when I think about them, when I visit their sports, and I mean I can't think of anything else that they could be other than my absolute everything, my oxygen. I am who I am because of being them. I was just texting my son the other day, yesterday or so, just letting him know about how awesome I think it is that I get to be his dad, and he was just texting, but that's what it is. It's hashtag my oxygen. And whenever I post a picture of the kids or whatever, because really that's what they are to me. I never could imagine loving something or someone as much as you love your kids and stuff. So that's who they are to me. So I know you've seen it. A lot of people have said it before because I'm always hashtag my oxygen when I got a picture with
Yeah.
one of them. But I've been blessed. So we've been blessed to have some wonderful kids.
Wow, that is so great to hear. We have a question from the audience. Do you talk with your athletes, especially high achievers, about having hobbies? That's a great question, Siobhan.
Yeah, that is a great question. We try to create that within our schedule. Their time to be away from the sport that they're playing, football. Obviously, hey, take some time off, take some time to enjoy. We call it active rest. So it may not be playing football or whatever. It may be another hobby. It may be going to play basketball. We call that active rest because it's not actually doing what you would do per se for our sport. But yeah, go play basketball, go golf, go bowling, hang out with your friends. So we try to create a real good balance between our team and things that we do. And I mean, some of the times we'll do fun stuff ourselves. I mean, we've taken them to movies. We've taken them bowling before. We have dance contests. I mean, we try to be as creative as possible with our group of guys to make sure that they have that good balance.
That is really,
And
really great.
we've had sleepover where we stayed. Yeah. Well, we've stayed in the gym before. Had all the guys get their sleeping bags, stay in the gym, play cards, play putt golf. Just being creative, trying to make sure that there's a good balance with these guys, and then it's always good for them to be close together, know that they care about each other and all that stuff.
Yeah, build that camaraderie with each other. Wow,
Yeah,
that's really great.
that's right.
That's
No,
well, Reggie, believe it or not, we are at our hour. It flies by. It's just so amazing how
right on.
any other time an hour would drag along, but it's been amazing to be able to talk with you, to have you on the show. Um, before we have any, before I close out the show, is there anything that we've not talked about or that we have talked about that you want to send us off in closing? And no pressure because you've talked about some really, really amazing things. So just want to make sure that if there's anything else that you want to share with the audience, that you have that opportunity.
Yeah, well, again, I appreciate you for allowing me to come on here. I appreciate your guests, the audience that are here and having their sips. It's been awesome. I look forward to coming back and joining you guys at another time. If there's any thing that I can do to help you and, of course, your audience, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always trying to help, encourage, coach, or whatever it is. So, I appreciate you guys listening, and I hope that we've said something to you in regards of the dash and other things that you'll be able to take with you, and hopefully be able to use in your career path.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Thank you again so much for being here. And we absolutely will have you back. I can't believe that we were able to fit this into your busy schedule. So we'll make sure that we do it again because you have some really amazing things still ahead of you. And I'm just so So grateful that you're in my circle, in my community, and that to think from where we came from Montgomery so many decades ago to now, and the impact that you're making on so many lives is just a really, really wonderful thing. So thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
you. Thank
I
you.
enjoyed it.
All right, guys. Well, that is another episode of Career Happy Hour. We so appreciate you being here. Hopefully, you have been able to get some insight, some nuggets, some inspiration, some motivation to be able to pour into yourself. But remember to also pass that along. Make sure that you're pouring into others. And one of the biggest ways that you can do that, that's really, really simple, is to have them join this community. Make sure that they go to careerhappyhour.com, do their one-time registration, and then they'll get all of the details on where we'll be each week, what time, and on what platforms, because we really want to make sure that we're helping as many people as possible. So you know who I am. I'm Lashina Recruitalina, your six-figure career brand coach. I am here to help you own your oomph and rock your oomph so that we can normalize earning six figures. We want to make sure that you stay recruitable, visible, and profitable. Hope you have an amazing rest of the night, and we'll see you next week, same day, same time, with another amazing guest co-host. Have just an amazing night. Take care. Bye.